We made it through another election week, and now we're looking forward to 2024 and the presidential election and what that means for the markets. So as we're coming up on an election year, we want to talk to you a little bit about some of the stats and the things that we commonly experience in the presidential election, along with positive actions and things that you can use to remind yourself during times of volatility. I want to say this is in no way meant to be an endorsement of either political party. This is meant purely to look at some of the facts and the data behind the stock market in an election year and how that affects clients' portfolio from a short-term standpoint. So first, we're going to start off with the stats behind the stock market and how it acts in an election year. Matt's going to put a chart up here in just a second, which is going to show you the average return of an election year under each respective party, and then the average return blended across. Average return blended is 11.58% in an election year. So we know that the S&P 500 is positive 83% of the time during election years. I think it's wise to always keep in mind that regardless of the political party, going into the election, we always hear about massive change, right? They each have their political agenda that they want to implement once they are elected into office. And a lot of the time, we really don't know what that policy is going to be. It's shared with us through some of the debates and their campaigning in terms of what policy they want to enact. But until we actually see it implemented, we are unsure of how that will affect the economy and the markets. I will say the market does not like the unknown. Volatility, short-term volatility specifically, is driven by the lack of information and the lack of clear direction in the market. Once the market has clear direction, it tends to see a rebound and it tends to see positive returns going forward. Now we want to talk a little bit about what that means for you as the investor and some things that you can implement and maybe remind yourself as we go through 2024 and you're wondering what in the heck is going on in the markets, right? I jokingly tell clients, don't watch the news. But some of the actions that you as an investor with regard to 10 Capital can implement is it's important during times of volatility to stay diversified, right? The S&P 500 is really only one section of your portfolio. A second thing is to keep a long-term perspective. I think your financial plan certainly can help you with that, but these short-term fluctuations that we're going to see coming into the election year are just that. They are short-term fluctuations. They are not a clear indication as to your success or failure with your financial plan. A lot of the times people see their account values increase or decrease, and they assume they are either further away from retirement or closer to retirement, or might need to go back to work, or they might need to sell a kidney just to fund retirement. That's not how it works. The financial plan, that's the third item that we want to talk about. Having a solid financial plan and referring back to your financial plan is going to be one of the things that keeps you grounded during these short-term market fluctuations. So having a solid financial plan, absolutely key. If you don't have a solid financial plan or you need a refresher on your financial plan, please come in and see us. So when a financial planner does a financial plan, the software takes into account many different scenarios within the market, right? So it could assume that you retire in the Great Depression. It could assume that you retired in the Great Recession. It could assume that you retired on Black Monday in the 70s during hyperinflation. Pick the worst period of time that you thought in the market. Your financial plan includes those periods of time in the market. So at the end of the day, keep in mind, the media is paid for ad dollars. They're not paid to necessarily tell you the truth in a clear and concise manner. Keep a long-term perspective. Success comes to those who play the long game, not the short game. Stay diversified. Diversified portfolios are going to win. We joke. If you have something in your portfolio that you feel like is just underperforming, that just means that you're diversified. There should be something in every cycle, market cycle, that is underperforming, because that is going to be something that is going to be performing in another cycle when your performer for this cycle is not doing so well. Case in point, energy from last year to this year. And then again, we're going to hit on it, the financial plan. Go back to your financial plan. It's going to be one of the most important things. It's the foundation of everything that we do here at 10 Capital. But in conclusion, a presidential election year, again, has averaged 11.58% rate of return. Keep that in mind. Out of the 24 elections, 83% have been positive. So if you're wondering what's going to happen, well, I can't tell you with all certainty. I don't have the crystal ball. We have a lot of things geopolitically that are happening. Certainly the potential for a black swan event that falls into that 17% category. But Again, generally, markets are positive. Take heart in that. Take heart in your plan. And if you ever have any hesitancy or you're ever concerned, please reach out to us here at 10 Capital. That's what we're here for. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this commentary and that you have a wonderful weekend.